gave Symphogear GX a 7 out of 10. I said in my Symphogear G review that I would probably get to GX soon. I didn't quite expect to watch nothing new between then and now, or to watch both of them in a single night each, but my sleeping and watching habits are both a little chaotic, so here we are. I also said in the Symphogear G review that I liked the direction it was going in, and if it just committed a little more to being a cheesy action show and cared a little less about the plot, I'd probably like it more. That feels like some kind of monkey's paw wish, because that's exactly what GX did, but in such a way that I think the end result is significantly worse than G. The plot points it chooses to focus on are handled awfully, the cast feels weaker throughout, and the antagonists are less interesting and have worse motivations. Although, to be fair, that's where G excelled most. As usual, it's impossible to say much more without giving some spoilers for the whole series up to this point, so beware, spoilers ahead. The first thing to be very clear about here is that GX is an action show first and foremost. Yes, there's a lot of character drama and conflict, but that's not where the show shines, and it certainly feels like an afterthought here. The first episode is incredible, and honestly, I'd almost recommend people who have zero interest in Symphogear watch this one episode alone, and I wish it set the stage more for the rest of the series. Unfortunately, none of the action after it quite lives up to those same levels, in part because the antagonists are kind of underwhelming. There's a whole cast of primary antagonists here who don't really offer much, and a couple who are more interesting don't really get a chance to showcase that. Zaya only gets to fight a couple of times, for all that her havoc in the early episodes is good, and Carol feels underutilized in terms of impactful action scenes. What's left is a lot of action scenes that feel too similar to each other. Garie and Mika are big culprits here, and a lot of character drama that just doesn't quite hit. Maybe part of that is having Symphogear G excel with Maria's character, even if it's struggled elsewhere. But it just feels like nobody in GX has motives or conflicts worth caring about. Now, that might feel like an odd complaint. Why care about any conflict in any anime other than suspension of disbelief? But the issue here is conflicts which can be resolved by characters just talking to each other. I've been kind of outspoken in previous reviews and conversations with friends about not liking shows like Toradora, where the conflicts feel forced for the sake of a narrative and not like any reasonable situation or scenario, even within the constraints of a given world. A lot of GX's clashes come under that, where various cast members start doubting themselves and others and refuse to communicate those doubts. This is partially explained by having the Ignite system actively fueling those doubts, but I still find it difficult to get invested in that kind of conflict. It feels even worse here since the show is predicated on being able to talk through every problem, no matter who it's with, so it just feels like it flies in the face of the message the show is trying to deliver. Relatedly, there are conflicts and clashes here that can't be resolved through communication. A lot of the show focuses on family drama. Hibiki and her father, Subasa and her father, Chris's found family, and Carol's past. And all of those are fine, even if dragged out a little excessively at times. There are also stories that don't really resonate with me outside of Chris's one, so I found it difficult to get invested in those. Needless to say, though, that won't be true for everyone. This next section contains spoilers for the ending of Symphogear GX, so if you'd like to avoid that, skip ahead to 5 minutes and 12 seconds in this video. If you see the black spoilers done screen, we're good to continue. The primary issue here is Carol. Even in the finale, there isn't a resolution with her. She's defiant to the end, choosing to drain herself entirely to defy Hibiki's approach. The only reason she fails at that is because of memories of her father, and not because of any communication or contact with Hibiki or the other cast members. There's an entire part of the fight where Hibiki talks about her going there being able to reach out to people, and Carol point blank refuses still. Now, Arguably, that's more realistic. Not every conflict can be resolved amicably. But that sure doesn't fit the theme or the message of the rest of the show, including the rest of the finale itself. There's also one redemption arc for an antagonist that is just insulting. Yes, the point of the show is that nobody is beyond redemption, but if that's the case, make them actually feel redeemable. Just having them as the same villain but pointed in the right direction doesn't lend itself to any real character growth, and it ends up hurting the message the show is aiming for instead of helping it. I also watched the Shinai spin offs here, including G's, which I hadn't watched with G, and there's not much to say beyond it's good. It's a four coma style set of silly Symphogear animations, poking fun at the cast, the story, and just the show as a whole. It won't mean anything without watching Symphogear, but it's entirely worth it if you have. It's a genuinely funny self parody that provides some fun character background too. For the series itself, though, this is all really critical, which might seem odd for a 7 out of 10 show. I talked in the Symphogear G review about the areas in which I thought the show really shone, and GX definitely runs with a lot of those. As a cheesy action show, it has some fantastic spots, and there are small moments of conflict resolution that feel powerful and deliver fully on the promise the series has set. The problem here is that there are so many more places where that falls down, to the point that it feels like a significant step down from G, despite actually addressing most of the issues I had with it. There's still some potential here, and of course, I'm going to watch the entire series at this point anyway. But GX feels like one step forwards and two steps back. If you liked this video and want to read more of my reviews ahead of the video releases, or if you'd like to support me in making these, check out the links in the description, and I hope to see you here again for the next one.